Hello, full stack web developer, and welcome to Coding for All, the channel required to become a full stack web developer with practical applications and utilizing free resources. In the last video, we made our first ever game in just 15 minutes, following 6 simple steps. So, if you haven't watched it, I would strongly urge you just go for it because it will make you confident by making a new game. It will give you some time to kill, show off, and obviously there are many skills to learn in that video. In this video, we will be utilizing advanced JavaScript and DOM manipulation to make a cool website known as DrumKit. And once you click any of these buttons and even press these buttons in your keyboards that we will see next time, it will make a sound that you can hear, and you can obviously compose a music using it. So now before we start our lecture, formally like the video and subscribe to the channel so we learn and grow together. The first thing is that I would suggest you to just download the skeleton rather than making on your own because it will save you some time and we will be on the same level. But if you want to practice your HTML and CSS scripts and your skills, sure, feel free to use it as a guide. You can just download it from the link below and you can make your own, so it's your choice. So now your first challenge is to write the script for JavaScript file. For that, index.js will be connected with index.html. Pause the video and give it a try. So I hope you tried it. As we discussed before, it is going to be at the end of the page, just before the body ends in index.js, just to see if we did it correctly or not. We will write hello. Refresh it. Perfect. So it is working. That's great. You can remove it. It's not appearing now. Okay, so now the thing is that at the moment, if I click these buttons, it is not showing anything. What if I want to have a function? When I click it, it should show I am present. So for that, if I go here, I'll create a function and click, and then it will show an alert message. So I am present. Let's see when refresh it. You can see, oh no, it is not doing anything. The reason is that it shouldn't be doing because we haven't selected where it should perform its action, and so for that reason we are going to add event listener. And I would strongly recommend you, why don't you just Google it and go to MERN stack or MDN, wherever you are comfortable with reading. You can read what add event listener does and how we can use it. So for the reason, we will write document query selector. Over here we are going to use button, then dot add event listener, and it will be click, comma, but we don't want to put that here. So it actually add event listener has two parameters. One is that when it should occur and what it should do. So we can write the function here, and there can be an option of writing anonymous function. What anonymous function means, it won't have a name there. So just let me try how it works now. So now Control S, I'll go to the website, I'll refresh it, click it, perfect. So it shows present now, but you see it is only working on the first button, and how can I do it for the other buttons too? And for this reason, I'm going to remove all this again. So now I'll show you something different, and for and that means that now I'm going to use anonymous function. For that, first of all, I will create number of buttons is equals to document dot query selector all. And this time we want to be specific because we don't want it to occur for the other buttons. So using drum only, drum dot length, and now I will create a loop here so I don't have to write the code for each button separately. Once we are good with the loops, obviously it resolves our issue of repetition. Then I is smaller than number of buttons, I plus plus, and over here I will write document dot query selector all, the same thing as we did in the past, dot drum. Over here it is going to be like an array, so the I should be there, dot add event listener, like we did before. When do we want it to listen on the play? And now we are going to create an anonymous function. So function like this, and we will, as we write functions, similar will be the case here. So we will write an alert message saying I am present, and that's pretty much it. Now we will simply put here this. So I just did a little beautification because I thought that it might create some confusion for some of you, or even for all of us, because I was confused about it too. So now let me see how it is going to impact. Refresh. Okay, that's nice. So now it is working for each and every button. You see? That's a good thing. But still, if you are confused with what I have written here, I would strongly urge you to go back to our loop section video so that once you are comfortable with it, you will be able to understand. Now I will try to move you to higher order functions and passing functions as arguments. And for that, we will go to our console and make a live calculator right now for the two numbers. Okay, now we will try to make a calculator here. Let me see if we can do somewhere else. Let me try here, otherwise the console is always there. So what if I create a function named as calculator, and it will have num1 comma and num2 as inputs. Then there will be return num1 plus num2. And if I call calculator comma 3, see, now it is 5. Calculator 1 comma 2. Plus 1 3, perfect. Now if I want to multiply this, So for that it will be something different. So for that I need to make a function again with the name of calculator, again two inputs, and over here I will return num1 product num2. Here we are. Then I will call calculator 2 comma 3, and now if I run it, it should be 6. Perfect, it is 6. So you see that this is not a good thing. So we have to use one additional tool that is named as operator. What operator does, operator helps us in performing these jobs together. So let me show you what do I mean. For example, if there is function addition with num1 comma num2, and then it will return num1 plus num2, and then I create another function subtraction with similar inputs. It will return num1 minus num2. Now if I call function calculator, function calculator, and then I just write it as num1 comma num2 comma operator. I hope I am writing the correct spellings. And so over here it will return operator. Num1 comma num2. Now if I call calculator, so over here I will write 1 comma 2 comma addition like it is in the top. If I run, 2 plus 3. Okay, so just ignore this because for that I need to write it in console. Now what if I write calculator? Okay, so the second one is subtraction. 3 comma 2 comma subtraction should show 1. It is showing 1. See, so this is how you can do it. So now what I have a challenge for you. Using the same concept, pause the video and give it a try to make a calculator that may do everything like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division using the same concept. Pause the video and give it a try. Cool. I hope you did it, but let me show you too. Functions, written by addition, subtraction. Now multiply num1 comma num2, and it will return num1 product num2. Then there is function divide num1 comma num2, and it will return num1 divided num2. So now I will make call calculator for multiplication. So I will 3 comma 2, okay, 3 comma 3 comma multiply. It should show me now 9. Perfect. But if I write calculator, the division, God, 8, 4, divide, and if I run this, it should show me 4. Perfect. So, one more congratulations. Although we were doing another challenge, we are making a drum kit website, still you managed to make a calculator that is right in front of you. So you can use all the same logic to make your own calculator for as many numbers you want. So now we will be moving on that how we can place sound on website. And it will be really a great thing because we haven't done so in the past. So just move on and we'll see how we can make our website even cooler. As we have seen that how we can add event listener to our buttons, now we are going to, as I've told you before, we are going to try to play sounds on our website. So playing sound is super easy using JavaScript, but let's see if we can find out how to do it. Why don't you do something similar search on Google and see what you get? So the first result that I hope that you will get will be Stack Overflow, one of the best tools that we can ask to help. So now you can see the snippet that you can see right in front of you. It's really going to be very easy. So where it just find the folder and play the sound for us. This is our sounds folder. And so why don't I give you a challenge? Using your research that you are using for to see that how we can play the sound using JavaScript, use your research to write a code where whenever I press the button, I get to hear the sound of Tom1 that you can see right here. So this is a challenge for you. Pause the video, give it a try, and then when we will refresh the sound, as soon as we press the button, we will hear Tom1 sound. So pause the video. So I hope you are done with this. Now let me show you how it is going to happen. So we are going to add the same function, or if you want, I can even write a new one. It's not going to be very difficult. So instead of this, we will remove it. We don't want this alert message anymore. Instead of this, we will create a new variable, audio. Audio inside. I hope you have seen this. After doing your research, sound is the name of the folder, tom-1.mp3, and then we want audio.play. Now once I refresh it, it should play the sound. Control S, over here we will refresh it. So fingers crossed. Yahoo! Perfect. All right. So let's move this code and see. So obviously in our case, the name is here. So now it was pretty easy. But what this line of code is doing, and you might come across many snippets and that are really helpful for you as a programmer that are provided by Stack Overflow. But it is really important that if you are going to implement it in your own code, to find out what the code is doing and how it works. So even if you Google for audio packets like we did here, you can see the first thing that pop up is MD and web docs. And by writing that code, we are essentially creating an HTML audio element that you can see. This is exactly the same syntax that you might be seeing over there on your screen while you are doing that research. Now, what this line of code will do behind the scenes, it will actually construct an HTML audio element. Now, this HTML media element that we create has a whole bunch of properties, and obviously we are not going to dive in each of them. And obviously that includes a play method, which basically plays back our media. Now, at the moment, no matter which button we press, we always get the same sound, which is of course the tom1 drum that we have specified here. But even if you took just a view of these images, these are simple images. So now there's another challenge for you. Now pause the video and try to make the image for each button. So as many images are here, similar are the numbers of buttons. So now your challenge is that once you are done, each and every button must have a background image, one of these. You can obviously Google it, that is going to be your best friend. But once you are going to pause the video, at this moment, your you can say the alphabets, your buttons will have no image at all at the background. But once you are done, it should have a background image. So pause the video and give it a try. Just one hint, it will be in your CSS file, styles.css. So I hope you are done with this. Now why don't we try together? So we are here. And over here we will write background image. Then we will write URL. So the order obviously depends upon you, what order you want. So, okay, I'm missing one thing. Images / trash dot png. I hope that I put the dot there just to see if it's working or not. Control S, and go back, refresh. Perfect. So what does this mean? We can simply copy, although this is not a good thing, but being lazy, I am doing this. So over here we will simply replace here with another name. So I'm just doing it in a random order. So put the cake, now it's tom1. Then it's tom2. I believe then I must have put tom3 here. tom4. So I am not making it fast forward here or like a time lapse. The reason is I want you to do every step with me, so you know how long might it take. And over here the last one is near, I believe. Control S, we'll go back to our website. Perfect. So this was our challenge. Now each and every button has a background image. So for now we will move forward for creating different sound corresponding to each picture, because right now it is only DOM1, no matter what the image is. Now if you have created this in a different order from me, then that's completely fine. But just remember to check back your images to remember which one is that, which button, so that you can assign the correct sounds. So now we are going to just proceed further with the playing sound thing according to the drum image. Well, if we think back during our DOM models, we know that we grab the inner HTML or the text content of any of these buttons, and you can see these all are different. And for that, I mean, but before doing anything else, we should just copy and just go down here because we don't want any complications for us. So that is the reason. Let me write it down. Okay. So now this is the place where I am going to show you another thing, that is console.log, and over here we will write this just to show you the inner HTML. I'm going to refresh this over here, more tools, developer tools, elements. Perfect. Now if I click it, so this is what we can see right now, that even by simply console logging this. And so in order to see even what is inside each of this specifically, to see the inner HTML, I will simply go back. I'll write inner HTML, Control S, go back, refresh, WASDJKL. So these are the alphabets that are assigned to it. So now we have done something with this in order to understand what's going on. So inside the loop, the first thing that we do is we look through the document and we try to grab all of the elements that have a class of drum. So that basically gets us all of those buttons that have the class of drum. Now the next thing we do is we loop through all of those elements starting from when I is equal to 0, and then we add an event listener to it. And the next time we loop through, then the I becomes 1. And now we add the event listener to the second button. So essentially our code will go through all of the buttons in turn, selecting them and adding the event listener until we have gotten to the end of all of our buttons. So now that all of our buttons have an event listener attached to it, what happens when we click on the first button? As you have already seen before, then the button event listener will trigger the function, and that was attached to event listener. And in this case, that's simply to just console.log this. So we first of all did console.log this, and then we are even going to see the inner HTML that we have just seen right now. So now we can also use its identity to change its style. So as a challenge, you can see how you can modify the code to change the text color of the button that got clicked to the color yellow. Pause the video and see if you can complete this challenge. So I hope it was something good for you and you were able to do that, but I'm going to remove this because I don't want it as a console.log. I want this action to be performed. So I will write this dot style dot color, and then it is equals to yellow. Control this. I'll go back. I'll refresh it. Perfect. It is turning. So whatever we click, it becomes yellow. But once we refresh it, it's back. So we already know the identity of the button that got clicked, and then we simply say the style. So now if I just refresh website, there's a new code, and whenever I click on a button, I change the text color to the yellow because we are able to get the identity of the button that triggered the event, and we can change its style and color to yellow. So for now, I think it is getting too much. Why don't you practice all these concepts? Because I believe that we have given enough of the new things, the new concepts, the new reasons, the new logics, the new commands, that I think you should get your hands on so we can just proceed further. So I hope that you had a fun with this. Sorry I was late, but I promise this time I won't be late anymore. So there will be a new video either every Monday or maximum by Tuesday. do practice all these concepts because we are going to proceed further, and as we proceed, the workload will increase, the fun will increase, the practical applications will increase. So I hope that you have liked and shared the video and also subscribe to the channel. Until then, good luck and bye, full stack web developer.